Hi all. So I think you all are waiting for the videos. Sorry we couldn't do that because of due to the network issues. So now I'm going to do the videos as it is work from home, right? So I'm going to do the videos and will post it daily. So I'm going to continue with the mineral nutrition chapter. Already we have discussed about the role of macronutrients and micronutrients. Just we are going to recall in our next slide, and then we're going to study the role, deficiency as well as symptoms of those diseases which is caused due to the deficiency of the elements. Okay guys? Okay, then let us start with the roles of mineral nutrients, that is both the micro as well as the macronutrients, guys. So essential elements have role in the metabolic processes. What type of metabolic process? Permeability of the cell membrane, maintenance of the osmotic concentration of the cell sap, even in the ETS, that is electron transport system, even in the buffering action, as well as which one, that is the enzymatic activity also they are going to help, guys. Okay guys, okay. All about the nitrogen. So nitrogen is required by the plants in a greatest amount. So it is mainly absorbed in the form of which one? Nitrate or nitrate? Yes, that is nitrate. So majority is absorbed in the form of nitrate, which is NO3 minus, and some are also taken up as nitrite as well as ammonia. And it is essential for the plant, especially in which part? Where the meristematic cells are present. You know the meristematic cells are present mainly in the root tip as well as the shoot tip, and even in the metabolically active cells. And it is a major constituent of amino acids. Amine, when you consider amine, there is a presence of nitrogen, guys. And the next is proteins. As you know, proteins are nothing but long chain of fatty acids, and the nucleic acids is present, so that is used in the heredity, especially the DNA and the RNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid and the ribonucleic acid, where there is a presence of nucleotides, nucleosides. You know, nitrogen base is there, as well as the sugar is present. In one there is a pentose sugar, and the other one there is a ribose sugar, right? So then the next is chlorophyll, and you know, in a chlorophyll there is a ring called as what? That is a porphyrin ring, where there is a presence of nitrogen. And even in the hormones like indole acetic acid, there also there is a constituent of nitrogen, guys. And the thing is, even in the carrier enzymes, just like that is what the carrier things are present. So especially the coenzymes, that is NADP and NADH, right? So NADP, nicotine, diamine, dinucleotide, phosphate has been present, NADP, NAD is present, even the alkaloids are present. Even in the vitamins, there is a presence of which one? That is the nitrogen, especially the riboflavin. Please note down this, the riboflavin is having the nitrogen content within them, right? And the deficiency symptoms of these nitrogen is nothing but the chlorosis. So you can observe that is chlorosis is nothing but what? It's a loss or yellowing of the leaves. You can say loss of chlorophyll or the yellowing of the leaves due to the deficiency. And due to that deficiency, anthocyanin pigment is depositing mainly in the petioles and the leaf. Example is tomato. And then the plant growth is also stunted due to the deficiency of which one? Nitrogen. If excess nitrogen is given, then also there is a disease. That is what we say, that is late flowering we consider. Some symptoms are there where late flowering, and there is a due to the deficiency, there is a difficulty in protein synthesis, we call students. So this is what the symptoms. And even the seed dormancy has been increased. Seed dormancy in the sense what? Resting period of the seed. So it cannot not germinate as it won't get the unfavorable conditions due to the deficiency of nitrogen. So these are the roles of which one? That is the nitrogen. Okay. Next one is nothing but essential mineral nutrients, which is that phosphorus. Phosphorus is also very important macronutrients, and it is absorbed by the soil in the form of phosphate ions. And remember, that is H2PO4 minus or HPO4 2 minus, right? So these are the ions. So you can remember, you know about the movie, that is 1 2 ka 4, right? So you can remember here, see hydrogen, that is what, if it is 1, then it will be the ionic charges, that is the charge present is how much? 2 minus. So 1 2 ka 4, and whereas here it is what, when it is a H2, so that is what it will be, the charge will be -1. So you have to remember that. So 1 2 ka 4. So please remember the trick so that you can remember this phosphate part. So here the functions, when we consider, it is a main constituent of which one? That is a cell membrane, guys. And these ions are actually, which has been absorbed, that is H2PO4 minus and HPO42 minus, are also called as what? Orthophosphate ions. Please note down, students, it is orthophosphate ions. And it is a major constituent. Remember, the phosphorus is a major constituent of the cell membranes. Certain proteins, all nucleic acids as well as nucleotides consists of which one? That is a phosphate. Yes, so phosphorus is present especially in the nucleic acids when you consider the nucleotides having the nitrogen base, pentose sugar, as well as which one? That is a phosphate group is present, and it is required for the phosphorylation reactions. What is phosphorylation? Addition of the phosphate, we are going to say. So that is what the phosphorylation reactions. For the formation of the energy currency, that is ATP, adenosine triphosphate, phosphorus is required. That is what the P we consider. And this phosphorus is also used, especially you can observe here the membrane. So which is that? The plasma membrane, you know it is made up of which one? That is the phospholipids, we say. There is a bilipid layer, and that lipid layer is which one? That is the phospholipids are present. So there the phosphorus is present, and even in the coenzyme. Which is that coenzyme? Again it is repeated, NADP and NAD, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So these are also present even in the coenzymes, you can find it out, and even in the oxidation and reduction reactions of fat metabolism you can observe this one. So here you can observe which one? That is a phosphate group. Then next let us see what is the deficiency symptoms of this. See, the first thing is premature of leaf as well as necrosis. Necrosis means what? The death of the tissue due to the injury, we say. That is called as what? Necrosis. Again I'll repeat, students, necrosis is nothing but death of the tissue due to the injury, we are going to say. And the next part is that is all about the phosphorus. And in protein synthesis also has been decreased if there is an absence of which one? That is a phosphate group. And the growth of the roots as well as the shoots, and the delay in flowering. So these are the symptoms. And even the xylem and phloem differentiation has been reduced. Please note down the students, due to the deficiency of phosphorus what happens? So the xylem and phloem differentiation is reduced, and it is going to inhibit the seed germination. Remember, in nitrogen we had studied that due to the deficiency of the nitrogen, seed dormancy will be increased. But here it is going to inhibit the seed germination. Phosphorus inhibits the seed germinations. Very important. Please note down this. Okay. So the next element is which one? That is a potassium. So potassium is absorbed in the form of which one? That is the potassium ion. So that is a K plus, and it is also highly required in which one? That is the meristem. And remember student, it's a monovalent cation. Please remember this. Potassium is which one? Monovalent cation, and it is in free form. Remember this, it is in free form. And here the potassium is nothing but it's highly required in the meristem, even in the birds, leaves and root tips for the growth of the plants, and it is going to maintain the anion and cation balance in the cells, especially during the opening and closing of the stomata, as you have already studied in transport in plants, the mechanism. And it is even involved in which one? That is a protein synthesis. See, protein synthesis is common in all the nitrogen, phosphorus as well as potassium. Please remember this. And activations of enzymes, and even for the maintenance of the sterility of the cells, the potassium ions are required. And remember, it is mainly important for the respiration purpose, and it also helps in starch synthesis and even in the distribution of it. Okay, so what are the deficiency symptoms? See, deficiency symptoms is nothing but it's having a mottled leaf. Mottled means it's an interveinal chlorosis, means you know there is interveins that is present on the leaf where the alloying of leaf becomes, especially the veins. So that's why we say intervening chlorosis, and shortening of which one? Internodes. You know the distance between the two nodes, or the space between the two nodes, is nothing but what we call it as internodes. So there will be a lot of bushy habit, and it also causes the necrosis, that is a death of the tissue during injury, and even the blight effect on the leaf tips. Can you observe that the diagram, the second figure, where there is the intervein, that is chlorosis can be observed. So alloying of the leaves can be observed, as well as which one? That is the blight effect can be observed, and the margin will be curved here. Please remember the symptoms. The margin is curved, and later on it is going to bend downwards. How it is going to bend? Downwards it is going to bend. So that is very important part, and it also decreases the carbohydrate metabolism. So that what happens, especially in the potato and beetroot, carbohydrate is stored as a food in the form of starch. So that cannot be done due to the deficiency of which one? Due to the deficiency of potassium, guys. Remember this point. And there is a decreased apical dominance. Even seeds are less developed. So these are the major symptoms of which one? That is the potassium, we say. So that is what all about the potassium. So next we are going to study the other element.